Week 8 of the MHSA season. There's no better place to be than right here at Birmingham Seaholm for a rivalry matchup between the Seaholm Maples and the Birmingham Groves Falcons. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brad Fetters for BACB Sports, joined once again by my broadcast partner, Nick Buckler, as we get set to call the action in the 61st meeting between our two Birmingham football teams. And, Nick, it doesn't get much better than this.
No, it really doesn't. Like you mentioned, the 61st meeting. Seaholm, they have an advantage so far, 40 wins, so they're looking for their 41st win of these two teams clashing, and really here at Seaholm, anything can happen, as I like to say every time.
We started out our coverage tonight with the road team, the Groves Falcons, and they have really just owned this series as of late. Winners of 6 straight and flying high once again this season. They make it all the way to the state semifinals once again last year, and really that momentum is carried over to this year.
It really has. They've won 3 straight games coming in here tonight, and really they're 6-1 overall. They are red hot, and I'm sure the end goal is going to be to get to that state championship game. They were so close last year, and definitely they want to build off of kind of a disappointing win, if you could even say that, last week against Stony Creek. It was kind of, they needed almost a miracle, I could say, to put one in the win column, and I'm sure they want to forget about that and look forward here tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of a trap game against Stony Creek last year. They might have been, or last week rather, they might have been looking a little bit ahead to this one here tonight against Seaholm.
Yeah, Seaholm is much improved this year, so they might have kind of had this one in their sights a little early.
Their head coach, Brendan Flaherty, is now alongside our very own Andy Aubrey.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm down here on the field before the game with head coach of the Groves Falcons, Brendan Flaherty. And, Brendan, great to see you, a man who bleeds green and yellow. If you cut him open, you should really get that looked at, by the way. How about this season? 6-1. Bring our viewers up to speed how this year's gone so far, Brendan.
Yeah, we started off strong there. I mean, 2 big wins against some quality opponents, Grosse Pointe South and West Bloomfield. So we've gone really strong early. You know, took a couple, up against Oak Park. You know, we're trying to find ourselves here a little bit with the rest of our league here. I had a rough week last week against Stony Creek, but hopefully this week the guys will be pumped up against the crosstown rivals.
Right. Talk a little bit about that Stony Creek game. You guys took that down to the wire, didn't you? And they're a pretty good squad, aren't they?
Yeah, I think the guy over there, Coach Merlo, is doing a great job. Good young coach. Coach Griffin, the former coach of Troy's there, doing a great job. So it was tough, man. I mean, could have gone either way. And, at the end of the day, one of our senior guys just stood up and made a play.
Yeah. All right, you're here in enemy territory tonight as we warm up on Seaholm's field. Jim DeWald is a guy you've coached against for years now, and he always puts a quality team on the field. They're also having a great year, but what do you know about Seaholm so far?
Well, I mean, Coach DeWald is arguably the best coach, I think, in our league for sure, maybe one of the top coaches in the state. And we've got nothing but respect for him. He's going to put and it really doesn't matter what the records are. That's so trite to say. But, we've been here, we've had 1 win, and them as well, and it goes right down to the wire. So it's going to be a great game, a great contest. But Coach DeWald, I have nothing but the greatest respect. I've got files on him when he was a head coach at Pontiac Northern, when Pontiac Northern was open. So, I mean, everything he's done, we chronicle and we got. That's how much we respect him.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I know that. You guys are having a great year. We wish you the best of luck going forward, and you went very far in the playoffs last year. Why not go all the way? Huh?
Yeah, that'd be nice. We're just trying to get through tonight unscathed and do what we can.
Don't tell me. 1 game at a time.
1 game at a time, baby.
Do it. All right. Coach, best of luck to you. Thanks for your
guys.
time, and we're going to send it back up to Brad and Nick right now.
All right, thank you so much, Coach Flaherty and Andy. As for the Seaholm Maples home team here tonight, really off to a good start to the season, 5-2, and they have that high-powered veer attack that gets a lot of yards on the ground.
Yeah, we saw it last year when these two teams got together. They really kind of controlled the time of possession early on. And if I recall correctly, they had a lead going into the half. Obviously, that changed in the second half. Groves was able to come out on top. But they're tied for second with the Groves Falcons in the OAA White Division. And really, they're playing good. They got off to a hot start, 4-0, but since they've lost 2 of their last 3, and really this would be a big one for them to try to get one in the win column. They haven't in 6 years.
And that veer option attack might actually be kind of a little bit of a secret weapon here tonight, and then pulling off the upset against Groves.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier about Stony Creek against Groves last week, they controlled the time of possession, and that's something that this veer attack can do. That the Maples have. And a little fun fact I got, last year was the first year that the Maples made the postseason since 2013, and they're well on their way to go back there again this season.
Yeah, looking for that 6th win, which would automatically qualify for the playoffs here tonight. Their head coach, Jim DeWald, is now alongside Andy Aubrey. Andy, take it away.
All right, guys, now we're down here with the head coach of the Seaholm Maples. He's Jim DeWalt. And, Jim, thank you for taking a moment. Here we are at home tonight against the big rivals. What do you know about Grove so far? And besides their record, obviously, I had you a little talk with the Coach Flaherty over there. What do you expect from the green guys tonight?
Same thing. They're well coached. They get off the ball. They got a lot of team speed. They're physical. We know them. They know us. I mean, there's no secrets in this thing. They know exactly what we do. We know exactly what they do. We just got to execute for 4 quarters.
Right. Okay, now bring us up to speed on your squad. You're having a good year, 5-2. Oak Park has been both of your team's nemesis, and but how has the team been performing individually, offense and defense, for you?
I'm very pleased with how we're performing. I think our offensive line's playing really, really well. Our offensive run game is extremely well right now. We're struggling a little bit covering the pass right now, which we definitely got to work on. But I'm very happy with our guys.
Okay, you still run the Veer offense, right?
Yep.
And how's the personnel year to year, as you've been consistent with that offense? Seems to be running it pretty well this year. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, our kids are executing right now really well. They got a handle on things, and it's our job to get them to execute. They execute, and they're doing a really good job of executing. And it's the old adage. It's like Novocaine, give it time, it always works.
Right. Now, when you score too quickly, that puts the defense back on the field. Obviously, how has your defense been performing, and what have you liked to work on these last couple of games?
I think our defense is doing a really good job of stopping the run right now. We've given our nemesis has been the big play.
Best of luck to you and the Maples, and we're going to wrap it up from down here, but don't go away because opening kickoff is coming right up.
Welcome back to Birmingham Seaholm High School. Brad Fetters alongside Nick Buckler for BACB Sports. Tonight's head referee wearing the microphone will be Jeff Beckles. Moritz Preuss has the ball teed up, and we're nearly set to go. The 61st clash between our two Birmingham schools. Brendan Flaherty, the head coach of Birmingham Groves, countered across the way by Jim DeWalt, the Birmingham Seaholm. Opening kickoff, well underway, and a big hole on the right-hand side, up the far sideline, pushed out of bounds by number 13, the kicker, Preuss. Number 14.
That's just really good blocking up front by the Maples to allow this. That was an excellent return, and they're going to need all that today. They're coming out gunning. We heard them talking pregame on the field. They are fired up on that Maple sideline, and that's one way to get her done.
Chaz Strecker, the senior, a big kickoff return and plus territory now for Seaholm in this Veer offensive attack. Line of scrimmage, the 36, as they'll give to Strecker over the 35 up to the 34 and no more. Gets piled, driven down by a whole host of Groves Falcons.
That's what they want to do. This is what they're going to do. They're going to run it up the middle, have some misdirection as that Veer that we know we've seen for so many years. And tick-tock, that's what they're going to play, that time of possession game. And that's the key to beating this Groves team, as you mentioned before the game to me, talking about that Stony Creek Groves game last week, and it almost worked out for Stony Creek. And Seaholm's going to try to replicate that a little bit better, obviously, and finish it off.
It's the quarterback this time up to the 30-yard line. That's where his progression will end. Caleb Knorr, the junior captain and quarterback. One of the few times that Seaholm has named a junior as a captain. But you got to give it up to your junior signal caller thrown in the mix here in this big rivalry game. It'll be a third down and short. The line to gain will be the 26-yard line, so we'll call it a third down, 4 to go for the Maples. And you and I talked about it in the pregame that really Seaholm could take a page out of the Stony Creek playbook last week. That Stony Creek gave them the way to beat this Grove squad, and that's just to possess the football. As this pitch comes out to the near side, pushed out of bounds. Pitch to number 21, Will McBride. It'll be good enough for a first down. And that Stony Creek game, Stony Creek had a 3-1 edge in the time of possession, as the Falcons only had the football for 12 minutes. But as we know, this is a Groves offense that has some quick strike capabilities. Only one wide receiver in this veer option attack, and the handoff goes to 44, Strecker up ahead for a couple, picks up a handful. That's the whole philosophy of this veer option attack, is just pick up chunk yards and occasionally hit the home run ball. I think we only saw the Maples attempt one pass in the first half of last year's game, so really an offense that does not rely on the aerial attack. They're just going to ground and pound seemingly all evening long.
Yep, it's it's not a flashy offense by any means, but hey, it's gotten them off to a 5-2 start, tied for second place in the OAA White Division with these Groves Falcons at 4-1 in division play, and they're going to try to get to that 5th divisional win and that 6th regular season win to clinch them a postseason berth for the 2nd consecutive year.
Daryl Allen, the outside linebacker, in on the stop, is Strucker once again for the Maples. 3 minutes into the football game, the long kickoff return by the Maples put them in Falcon territory. It's already their third down of this football game. Once again, short yardage situation for the Maples.
They've been good with the quick give in this situation. It's been to Strecker almost every time here.
And this time it's number 33 that takes the handoff, James DeWald. He pushes forward. Good enough for a first down. Inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line.
That's the thing, just when you think that you kind of know what they're going to do in a short yardage situation, like I mentioned, Strecker had gotten the first couple third down on a misdirection, and it's been good for 4 to 5 yards. They have so many weapons that can beat you on the ground, and there it was DeWalt.
Caleb Knorr back in at the quarterback positions, rubs his hands together, and he fakes the pitch, rolls out, looking to pass this time as a receiver wide open in the end zone and unable to connect as he threw across the body, was looking for number 22 in the end zone. Runco wide open and just underthrew his man that time.
Yeah, waited. There was a little lapse in coverage late. Threw it in between 3 defenders, and he did have him open. I think the play was designed to go to number 44, Strecker, on a rollout to your back, and he had him led, but for some reason he wanted to go across his body for the pretty pass into the end zone. Either way, it's going to bring up a second down.
Second down, goal to goal. Line of scrimmage, the 8-yard line. Knorr this time will hand off straight ahead, looking to move that pile. Unable to go very far with it, however, is number 34, Jackson Vance. So this is kind of that three-headed monster of this veer option attack. You're going to see a ton of different halfbacks, fullbacks. You can keep, you can pitch, or the dive play is always available to you.
And not to mention throw. We haven't seen it really be a realistic threat yet in the last couple of weeks, but nonetheless, they like Knorr's arm, and we'll see if he can get it going here.
It'll be DeWald under center this time. Mentag out in motion. DeWald keeps out towards the goal line, stretches out. He didn't get it. He'll be marked just short. And it'll bring up a 4th and goal to go from the 1-yard line.
Mere inches. I think you have to go for it here. To me, if you can't get 2 inches in this league, I don't think you should be out there. You just got to smash it up the middle. And this is what it's all made for here. First drive, you're going to have 4th and inches at the goal line. You have to go for it, and this is what they're going to do.
So it will be DeWald once again. James DeWald, the senior, 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's going to keep it. He goes over the right tackle, and he's in. Touchdown, Maples. The faithful go crazy as Seaholm, the exclamation point on the opening drive of the game, take the early 6-0 lead over the Groves Falcons.
That's what it's all about. Smash mouth football right between your center and your guard, and you just bury it in for 6 points.
So 6-0 Seaholm. Take just over 5 minutes off the clock. And the extra point high snap, getting it down. The kick is up. The kick is good. Off the foot of Justin Klatzen, just like that. The Maples now lead at 7-0 as we get another look there. It was a tough-fought battle, but DeWald able to keep that momentum alive. That second and third push got him across the goal line. And just like that, the Seaholm Maples out in front, 7-0.
It was a good drive. What they wanted to do, they only traveled 36 yards, and they went 10 plays, 5 minutes and 1 second off the clock. That's a good start for that Maples team, and that's exactly what they wanted to do on their opening drive. And now let's see what their defense can do against this high-powered Groves offense. 7-0 Seaholm leads it here on home turf on rivalry week.
Big games all across the OAA, but none bigger than the battle for Birmingham here tonight.
And a battle for solo second place in the division.
Allen Park right now, the cream of the crop here in the OAA white. It's going to be a short kick fielded at the 10-yard line. Changing directions. Here comes Groves now. It's number 10, Miguel Bird. Nope, that's number 19, Eli Turner.
Flag down here. I think it's going to be a block in the back against Groves.
So this will move things back.
That's exciting.
So the ball will be down at the 12-yard line. That's where the Falcons will put it in play. Marcus Alexander, the senior signal caller, in his second year of starting for the Falcons. And the Maples jump offside, so 5 free yards for the Falcons. So we'll bring up a 1st and 5 now. Alexander has been in the Birmingham area playing football since the age of 8. Coach Flaherty has watched him grow up. It's a handoff this time. Ralph Donaldson, the very dangerous running back. We'll see him on both sides of the ball. Donaldson will get some play at the safety position as well, one of the senior captains of this Grove squad. Senior leaders for Coach Flaherty.
6 yards, good enough for a first down after the offside penalty there.
A little bit of an audible being called by Alexander as he directs traffic, puts Damon Dunbar in the right position. Dunbar, terrific wrestler as well. Alexander, flat-footed toss out into the flats.
Good hit.
Bottled up there, nowhere to go for Clayton Fox, one of the leading wide receivers for the Falcons this year.
Yeah, he made his first man miss, able to kind of stretch out, only really 1 yard after contact. He was finished off with a very nice tackle there by the Maples defense, swarming to the ball there on first down.
Boy, what a lift. That first possession of the game gave the Seaholm squad facing that uphill battle, and you come in and get the big kickoff return and then punch it in from 1 yard out on 4th down.
Nothing like starting off the rivalry night with a 63-yard kickoff return and just the kicker away from taking it to the house.
Another good throw, finds Damon Dunbar. Ralph Donaldson applying the block out of the backfield that allowed Alexander that extra second to get this throw off. There you see it, Donaldson lowering that shoulder, and it's Dunbar out of the backfield once again, stretching out. Gets it all the way up to the 43-yard line. So a really nice start to this drive for the Falcons with just under 5 minutes now remaining in the opening quarter of play.
Yeah, they mixed it up, a couple runs, couple passes, been helped out by an offside penalty, but that really didn't matter. They were able to pick up a first down on that very next play. So just a good keep them guessing as far as play calling goes. And, you know, you run to set up the pass and vice versa, and so far that's what they've done.
Fox and Turner to Alexander's left. That's where he looks, and he finds number 19, Eli Turner, right across the middle of the field into Maple territory, all the way up to the 43-yard line. Nice, easy slant there, run by number 19, Eli Turner, a senior wide receiver.
It was like I was playing Madden. I was tapping Y with all those spin moves. There's one, whoop, and oh, how's another? How you doing? See you later.
Breaks 2 tackles as Strecker and DeWald were the Maples that were there to meet Turner.
Both of those guys you just saw on offense in that veer. So a lot of guys playing both sides of the football here tonight.
3 wide receivers set this time. They'll send a man in motion. That's number 5, Scheinbaum. And now they'll send Donaldson as well. Donaldson takes the jet sweep. Met immediately. Oh, what a big hit. We got a penalty flag as DeWall just absolutely blasted Donaldson down.
Where this was thrown, I would think maybe a holding.
Yeah, that will be the call.
He must have been down on the ground behind the play on the replay. Must have tackled a Maple defender. So nonetheless, a really good stick by DeWald, but doesn't matter. They're going to take those yardage, rightfully so, and take that penalty.
10-yard spot penalty will bring up a second down and long now. Check that first down and long. Line to gain will be the 32-yard line.
4 wide receivers here. What do you think's going on here? Maybe a little play action? Nope, straight pass.
And it's a drop and it's a screen, incomplete. Looking to find Damon Dunbar out of the backfield. So Grove's a little wrinkle there. They spread the field and then look for the screen.
Yeah, it was a good job by the Maple defense getting in there and kind of covering up the running back who they were trying to check down to on that play. I don't know if that was a designed screen, but that was his check down. The pressure came in and running back wasn't quite ready for it.
3:33 remaining, first quarter of play. Second down and 23. Alexander out of the shotgun, looking to pass once again. Coverage collapses. Wide receiver knocked down, no call.
Wow, he was tackled.
Scheinbaum cannot believe it. Jacob Vance that time in coverage.
The only reason I could think that this isn't called is because he doesn't throw it until after the player's already been taken to the ground. Look, you're going to see here, he throws it. The guy's already down on the ground before the ball is even thrown. So I don't know if maybe they got tangled up, but at real speed, it looked like he was kind of hauled down. But nonetheless, no call, and we got ourselves a 3rd and a mile.
Seaholm crowd making some noise now. Big situation here for their defense. 3-step drop. Alexander quickly gets it out and finds his man Clayton Fox. Fox down the far sidelines. Turns upfield. He's going to find the end zone. 53-yard touchdown catch by Clayton Fox, the senior wide receiver. And the Falcons on their first drive answer right back.
That's just a really good route and a really good throw. Good protection from that offensive line to give him enough time to sling it. Look at this. Number 58 making a really good block there on the end, and really no match there at all as you have a speedy receiver on Strecker there. He really didn't have a chance, and the yards after catch was pretty impeccable there, and nonetheless, point after, try to tie her up. Big play for Groves.
Mo Preuss in to add the extra point, one of the best kickers in all of Oakland County. Piece of cake for him, as he is the all-time leader in school history in extra points. And he adds on another to the record books. And with 3:17 remaining in the first quarter of play, we are all tied up at 7 apiece as we get another look here. Clayton Fox finding himself wide open and made one Maple miss as he cruised into the end zone. And Marcus Alexander, he is a playmaker at the quarterback position, fielding plenty of looks to play at the next level, and that's the type of throw that shows you why. As Fox finds pay dirt, sells a ball game here from Seaholm High School. Everything we could have hoped for in the first quarter of play.
I think Alexander likes throwing on the run. He had plenty of time when he had his feet set, and then he just kind of stutter steps and throws it, not on the run, but with his feet moving, and that's when he's been dialed in here tonight.
Jack Trench and Chaz Strecker deep along with Miles Mentag. Strecker, we know, can break plays out of that kick return position. Strecker 44, the man that's deep right now for the Maples. That's one of the things with this Maple team is you're asking guys to play multiple positions here tonight, both sides of the ball as well as special teams. Depth a little bit of an issue for Seaholm. You don't see that on that Grove sidelines.
No, look at they're playing one side of the ball over there. They're fresh. They're ready to go. Yeah, you got all your playmakers really on both sides of the field, like you mentioned, for the Maples, and that really adds fatigue, especially in a big, crucial game. You're pouring your heart into every play. Come fourth quarter, these guys are going to be drained. It looks like after a penalty, we're going to have a kickoff.
15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty, and Preuss will just knock this one through the back of the end zone. Piece of cake for him. I think he actually took a little bit off that kick.
He was maybe hoping for a return, get the coverage out there, but after the last kick return, I don't know if you want to do that.
So it'll be a touchback. It'll put the ball on the 20-yard line. That's where the Maples will operate their second possession of this game, scoring on their opening drive of the game. Falcons answering right back with really an impressive drive of their own.
Yeah, they came back 7 plays, 88 yards, and only took 3 minutes and 20 seconds off the clock.
Nor this time will keep met in the backfield by 3 Falcons. Nowhere to go that time. Damon Dunbar and Connor Sarafa in on the tackle.
Dunbar, like you mentioned earlier, he's a pretty darn good wrestler. And right there, he wrestled him down to the ground. And, well, they're only marking it a loss of 1, but that could have been much worse. Forward progress as he got back to the 19. Bring up 2nd and 11.
Dunbar, number 11, state qualifier, is wrestled down at Ford Field. Daryl Allen, also one of the Falcons involved in that tackle, and they give the Strecker this time nowhere to go. Much better answer this time out of the Falcon defense. Daryl Allen and David Shelton that time, the tacklers for Groves.
Yeah, they're ready. They know what they're going to get here. At least they think so, and so far they've seemed to prove it.
So back to the original line of scrimmage. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter of play. Seaholm football going right to left. They come out in those home maroon jerseys, white helmets. Groves in the white with green numerals. The pitch this time to Miles Mentag. Going to be a couple yards short of the first down markers as he gets tackled down after a pickup of 7 yards. Jack Curran, who made a big turnover last week for this Groves defense, made the tackle there. And it'll bring up a 4th and 3, and this is a Seaholm putt unit that uses that rugby-style kick where they kind of roll out with the punter. We've seen some fakes out of this formation from the Seaholm Maples in the past, so something to pay attention to as the night progresses.
Yeah, I don't know if you do that here in this field position, but we'll see.
They get the kick away. That was number 81, Alex Lons, with the kick, and it's going to take a Falcon bounce and get finally downed Runco, the Maple, that downs the football at the 44-yard line. So really good field position here for Groves as they start their second drive of this football game. Just under a minute to go in this opening quarter of play.
Seaholm only able to take a little bit over 2 minutes off the clock, and I'm sure even if they're going 3 and out, they want to be able to chew that clock a little bit more and keep this potent offense of Groves off the field. We'll see what they're going to do here, if they're going to come gunning again, or if they're going to try to have a couple runs to set up the deep pass.
So just 2 wide receivers set this time. Clayton Fox and Eli Turner, the wide receivers to Alexander's left. And he's going to look that way, and he finds Fox just short of the markers, and Fox got laid out. And that might have been Eli Turner, number 19. That was number 19. That's who Alexander was looking for. Might have heard footsteps that time.
Did he contact him a little early? In that angle, looked like he might have.
Two running backs set behind Alexander. They send a man in motion. It's number 88, Kendra, the tight end. They go straight up the middle this time with Donaldson up to the 45. Doesn't go down on first contact. Able to work the legs, keeps them churning, and picks up a couple.
Yeah, still 3rd and long, but obviously 3rd and long is no match for Groves as they converted that 53-yard touchdown on a 3rd down and 23. So 3rd and 8 doesn't necessarily scare them or intimidate them.
Well, that's a Falcon squad that just can rattle off big plays. They had a 63-yard rushing touchdown by Damon Dunbar last week, a 51-yard touchdown pass from Alexander to Fox, and a 60-yard touchdown run by Donaldson. So big play capabilities by this Groves offense. Alexander straight back, finds Fox this time at the 50-yard line, looking to pick up those 2 extra yards and unable to. Just a simple play out to Clayton Fox, and that will do it for the first quarter of play. Teams trading blows, and after 12 minutes in the books, we are knotted up at 7 apiece. We'll keep it right here. Your thoughts on that first quarter of play?
Well, really, we saw the Maples come out gunning with that 63-yard kick return to start it off, and then they were able to chip away, do what they want to do, take some time off the clock, and end up punching it in on 4th and goal from mere inches out. And then really we saw what Groves has done so well for so long, the big play capability, and they connected on their first drive. But here we see them having a 4th and short to start quarter number 2. So we might have 2 stymied drives here following 2 very successful opening drives. So just what you'd expect out of these 2 teams, a back and forth battle thus far.
So we take a look back at some of the first quarter highlights, and here's that big touchdown pass, and really a lot of yak there. 40 yards of yards after catch by Clayton Fox, and now all of a sudden it becomes decision time for the Groves Falcons on the 49-yard line. The line to gain will be the Seaholm 40.
Hey guys.
Yeah, Andy.
I got a special VIP down here on the sideline. I've run into Dick DeWalt. He is the father of Jim, the coach, and grandfather of James and Caden. And welcome to Michigan. How's it like watching the family play out there, Dick?
It's been a real big thrill. It was fun watching Jim back in high school and college, but now it's even a bigger thrill with the younger kids. It really is. And they're getting to both get to play together is even more fun for me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Now, you had a Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore moment when you told me, I'm not in Arizona anymore. You obviously live in Arizona. What do you think of our Michigan late Octobers?
It's a little cool, I'm not used to wearing all these kind of jackets and stuff, but it's been fun. At least this year, I'm not getting rained on. Last year I got rained on at the game. So, yeah, it's the boys were asking me at practice this week, so what's it like out there, Grandpa? I said, pulled up my phone and said, it's 95 right now. Why? So, yeah, this is fun. But this is football weather, though, guys. This is football. This is what it's all about.
You're absolutely right. Well, welcome to Michigan. We hope you enjoy your time, and best of luck to your son and your grandsons. And, it's great to have you, and it's probably fun for you, I'm sure. So, okay, take care. Back to you guys.
Never know what you're going to run into on the sidelines of the Seaholm Maple game.
Yeah, you don't, and yeah, it's definitely nothing like Arizona. I don't know. I could take some of that quote-unquote dry heat right about now. My nose is red like Rudolph. Might be running like a faucet. Couple really cheesy dad innuendos there.
So Groves took the time out prior to the snap, so they put 12 minutes back up on the big board.
So they got punt formation now. It looked like they were going to go for it, and they snapped the ball and had a pass completed for about 25 yards, but to no avail. So this might be fake territory here.
So it'll be Orion Kendra, number 88, to punt this one away, the 6'4" punter here for Groves, and it's a end-over-end kick that's going to bounce inside the 20 and take a straight left out of bounds right around the 15-yard line.
Yep, so a low kick, and they're going to try to pin the Maples deep and see what they can do. Groves coming off of a really good defensive stand on their last defensive drive.
I think that's an instance there where Flaherty realizes it's still very early in this football game and really doesn't want to give any sort of momentum to that Maple sideline.
Yeah, that's a smart play because if you don't get it, I know it's only 2 yards and you've been so good on 3rd and 4th down this whole year, but that can really change the whole, mindset of a team and the whole really formation of a game.
So it'll be Caleb Knorr, gives to Strecker. And it'll be Darrell Allen and Caleb Coleman, the two Falcons, making the tackle.
Really good response from the Maples defense to force a 3-and-out after their offense went 3-and-out, only allowing 8 yards, 4 plays, only taking a minute 6 off the clock.
Brings up a 2nd down, 8 to go. On the 17-yard line. 2 wide receivers to Knorr's left. And they will hand off once again. This time it's going to be number 34, Jackson Vance, on the dive straight ahead. Picks up 7 yards, so it'll be 3rd and short, 3rd and 1 yard to go. Line to gain the 25. 4 down linemen, 4-3 look for the Groves defense.
This is one you might want to do a little misdirection here. Get the defense going in all directions. Maybe have a bootleg rollout here. It's a short situation.
Groves shows blitz, and that's indeed what will happen. They faked the handoff and went around the edge. That's why we pay the big bucks, Nick Buckler.
Yeah, I was fooled for a second. I said, or just run it up the middle and not get it. But no, I said, that's right. They heard me.
Damon Dunbar with the shoestring tackle. So 1st down. Maples on the move, 10:20 remaining, first half of play. Groves sneaking up to the line of scrimmage. And here comes the pitch this time to this near sideline, pushed out of bounds at the 35. Jack Trench, the ball carrier.
Risky business on that pitch. It was up high on his back shoulder, but a good athletic play to snag it and not lose it, keep possession, and still pick up 4 yards.
Looking for a lot of different variables on this veer option attack, and that pitch, one of the more deadly ones, and can kind of create some awkward bounces as well if that pitch isn't perfect.
Is that a Pitch Perfect movie reference there?
Anna Kendrick, if you're out there listening. Up to the 40-yard line. They'll be just a yard short. Forward progression was stopped just short of the markers. So these are the types of situations as an offense you like to see yourself in on 3rd down, 3rd and short.
Yeah, this is a lot closer even than the last one. They're going to wave them.
They're going to give them the first down. Wow.
Not even a measurement. All right, I'm sure Coach DeWald's going to take that. And now you kind of have a little bit more relaxed play call on 1st and 10 rather than 3rd and 1. They wouldn't have dared do the bootleg rollout again, would they? Guess we'll never know.
Defensive line jumps forward, and that'll pick up a flag.
Ultimate on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
David Shelton, the guilty party that time. 5 free yards, the Maple offense. Brings up a 1st and 5.
Yep, they'll take that. They roll the clock, so it's just like, a free down. 5-yard gain, sure, we'll take it. Don't mind if we do.
Seaholm gets the play in late. Caleb Noren will bring it into the huddle. They'll break it now. And these types of 1st and 5s really open the playbook. And they will pass.
Oh, he's got him.
Looking to go deep. Out, caught at the 32. That's Will McBride changing directions all the way inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line.
A really good play. That wasn't even the receiver when I jumped early and said you got him. They had another receiver or tight end up the seam, up the middle, that could have been streaking in, but no, we'll just drop it in over here, and you know what? It worked out because he was agile and slippery, making a guy miss and almost taking it in for 6.
Lots of arm tackle attempts there by Groves as McBride made 6 would-be tacklers miss on that play, and that's what that veer option attack does. It kind of lulls you to sleep, and then you can hit those big home run balls as Noor takes this one for himself and picks up another healthy dose of yardage there on 1st down.
Yeah, McBride, was he slippery like a bar of dial soap down on a sink or a countertop? Trying to pick it up, you can't, just like they couldn't tackle him.
And how about the Coach DeWald comment in his pregame discussion with Andy Aubrey, taking a line right out of Remember the Titans about Novocaine. You know, just give it time. It always works. And that's kind of the quote that goes along with the veer option attack. And this is something you used to see quite a bit in the 80s. Nebraska was really good at it, and a lot of colleges ran this type of offense. Georgia Tech had that patented triple option attack as Jack Trench this time gets it inside the 5 before being pushed out of bounds. And it's an offense that works, but a lot of colleges, most colleges, have gone away with it because you simply cannot recruit playmakers because wide receivers don't typically like to play in this type of offense.
No, you got a lot of big, girthy running backs, more of a fullback build. You don't necessarily have your pro-style quarterback. You got an agile quarterback, but almost, I'm not going to use the term gumpy, but they're not the athletic running style quarterback. They can move enough and they can throw, but really not a pro-style quarterback by any means.
Grove showing all kinds of pressures. It's DeWald under center. He gets hammered, but pushes his way over the goal line. It was Connor Sarafa that made the initial contact in the backfield.
He just wouldn't be denied right there. Right there, you think he stopped. No, you just see the pile start moving. You don't really see him. You just see those legs moving, and eventually the pile's in the end zone for 6 points.
So the kick is up, the kick is through, and just like that, the Seaholm Maples have taken the lead, 14-7.
Just a really good run there by DeWald just to keep those legs moving for his 2nd score of the game. And both of those touchdowns were hard fought, and that's a really good drive set up there. They really hunkered down and said, we're going to run it right down your throat, and we're going to mix in one big pass, and it's going to be a backbreaker. 4:53 off the clock and 85 yards on that drive. Really impressive. And now we'll see their defense try to come out and get another stop. But you know Groves' offense is out there, and they're really ready to go.
J.J. Ferguson was able to penetrate through the offensive line and unable to come up with any sort of play in the Seaholm backfield. And Maples here on their home field.
How about a squib onside kick? Recover that, this place. They build a roof just so they could blow the roof off of it.
Have come in and nearly gotten off to a perfect start, and they will, in fact, kick it deep.
Oh, he muffs it.
Muffed, picked up at the 18, changing the direction. Nowhere to go. Eli Turner, and he was thinking about running before catching that kickoff. So the ball will be at the 16-yard line as we get another look at that muff. As it bounced off the chest and was picked up, and good special teams tackle. So Coach DeWall has to be thrilled at the start that his squad has gotten off to here on a Friday night under the lights.
There's a little wind down there, too, kind of blowing around, which, you know, you think that ball's probably knuckling a little bit. I guess I'm thinking more of punts, but as far as kickoffs go, it's just you got to get under that and haul it in.
Yeah, guys, little field report as far as the weather goes. It's pretty calm, but the chill is starting to show itself. I can tell you my hands are a little chilly, and it's got to be playing out with these ball carriers and receivers and you know, accepting those kickoffs. The fingers aren't moving quite as nimbly as they may have an hour ago or two when the sun was out. So that's going to bear watching the rest of this game for sure.
Maybe that was just the jet stream I felt up here with the breeze blowing through the window. I just figured, hey, it's probably the same down there, but who am I? I guess I should open my eyes and look at the flag. Thanks for the report down there on the sideline, Andy.
About 50 degrees at kickoff. It was Eli Turner on the reception on that far sideline. Medtag pushing him out of bounds. It meets the conditions of last year's game.
Oh. Yeah, there was, I believe, rain blowing sideways. It was a little chillier. It was in the 40s, I think. Very chilly. We were in the climate-controlled confines of the Groves press box, though. So, but we appreciate the crew out there grinding away in the elements.
That was a 26-9 victory a season ago for Groves, and they came back the very following week and beat Seaholm 35-14 in the first round of the playoffs. We talked about that epic ride to the state semifinals. Second time in 3 years Groves made it to the state semifinals. They lost last year. The eventual state champions in Division II, Warren D. LaSalle, in the state semifinals, 28-0. So looking to make that final push and get to the title game at Ford Field. Going to have to get through Seaholm first. They trail 14-7. Marcus Alexander under center this time. Line of scrimmage at 36. Rolls out to his right, finds an open receiver. That's Scheinbaum, the tight end, dragging right across the middle.
Throw was a little bit behind him. That's a good grab by Scheinbaum. He reaches across his body here as we just see a little play fake. Scheinbaum turns, reaches back with both hands. Luckily, there was no defender around, or else that could have been an incompletion or even an interception if someone's in the neighborhood.
The first time we've seen the play action fake out of Groves.
A little strange looking play action. He fakes with the empty hand, turns his back completely. Imagine if there's pressure. You don't even see him coming, you're smoked in the back.
This time it's Colby Taylor met in the backfield.
The trio of Maples were there to
Jacob Vance and Jack Jerkovich.
They really stuck him right there at the line.
It's a very active linebacking core right now for the Maples, as you see the Groves marching band coming into focus there, making that short trek down the road to provide some tunes. And how about the little pregame national anthem, both bands coming together to perform as one?
Nothing screams America like a little high school band. I was waiting for the flyover. Another good defensive stop here by the Maples to bring up third and long.
Damon Dunbar that time, nowhere to go out of the backfield, and it'll bring up a third and long once again. Marcus Alexander may have a little short, brief meeting with his head coach, Brendan Flaherty, on that far sideline. As Groves will bring out some different personnel as they sub Kyle Coleman into the game for Damon Dunbar. Coleman, 5'11", 185-pound junior. Colby Taylor and Clayton Fox The wide receivers to Marcus Alexander's left.
I get a timeout here by the Maples, I believe.
That's a good timeout. You wait for Falcons to break that huddle, see what types of formation they line up in, and now you can kind of go to your own drawing board and come up with the defense here on 3rd and long.
I don't think Coach DeWald's happy with his defense there. It looks like they didn't have enough people in the secondary and they weren't moving when the coaches were jumping and screaming for him to move back. When they saw the trips left and they only had 2 guys over there, they waited, nothing happened, so that's when Coach DeWald is forced to call a timeout here, and that's an important timeout. You got 3rd down and 11, and if Groves is able to convert this here, they can really milk the clock and run this thing down to half and try to set up a game-tying touchdown here heading into the break. But a good timeout there. Make sure you got your ducks in a row and try to come up with a 3rd down stop.
3:17 remaining, 2nd quarter of play. It'll be a 3rd and 11 here for Marcus Alexander and the Falcon offense. Alexander deep in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers spread set. Alexander, terrific protection that time, and he delivers a strike right on the money to number 5, Scheinbaum. Scheinbaum, the tight end, really been involved quite a bit here offensively, especially on this drive.
He didn't get much separation, but he had just enough. It was a perfect throw by Alexander. It leads him perfectly. He was just out in front of the defender and able to use his body to hold him away and fall forward and get that 1st down.
Alexander flushed out of the pocket this time, just kind of pitches it forward. That's a catch.
Nope.
You're going to say incomplete. Wow.
From up here, it looked like he had a one-handed grab underneath it. That was still a pretty athletic play nonetheless, but good awareness by Alexander to see the pressure coming after he eluded a couple defenders.
Colby Taylor was the intended wide receiver. A little bit of a broken play. Nice job by Alexander, just keep that play alive and found Taylor open. As we get another look at it here.
That's good footwork there, looking like number 15, maybe a little Patty Mahomes-esque.
Oh, yep, that's a good call by the official. That clearly hit the turf.
Good trap, though, if you're not paying attention. Try to box out the official, but nonetheless, 2nd and 10.
Another play action, looking for the screen, and no shot there. Blowing that play up, Jacob Vance. Pass hauled in by Kendra.
Yeah, as soon as you see the play fake, you see the line all move to one side. You know the screen's coming. And Vance was able to sneak in right behind that offensive line, and good one-on-one tackle there, and good job to haul him and get him to the ground, to the turf.
So the line to gain is the 23. So 3 wide receivers set this time. And they look for number 6, Clayton Fox. Just short of the sticks. Nope, they're going to give him it.
That's a very healthy spot. I don't think the sideline there is agreeing with that, but we'll get a look at it here.
And Coach DeWald right into that official's ear, and
maybe he did.
Forward progression. You gotta imagine that Fox knew his surroundings there and would have run to a point where he would have had the 1st down. So they give it to him. Ball to 22. Minute 43 remaining, Andy.
That's a good spot, guys. I was right on that line, and that referee was it was a little genuine, very generous, I should say, but I think that was a fair spot.
That's why you're down there, Andy, to provide us what we can't see up here in the booth.
Oh, good job to haul him down anyways. Yeah, we got a good look at it on that replay. We couldn't quite see the marker, but we could see the yard line, and I do agree with you, Andy. After a second look, it looks like that was the right call.
Yeah, he was pushed back, Nick, but when he caught the ball, he was on, I guess that would be the 22-yard line. So, all's fair, and they all even out, I think, too.
That's what Aaron Rodgers said after the Monday Night Football game.
Hi-oh.
Too soon or not soon enough? Deuces are wild on that 22-yard line.
3-yard loss. Look at operate now. Stiff arming. Colby Taylor picking up some positive yards. Gets it back to the original line of scrimmage. So now we'll have a 3rd down and 10. Clock stops with 51 seconds as Taylor was escorted out of bounds that time.
Really good drive for Groves. They got the ball with 6:54 left, and you know, I'm sure they would have said they would have liked to put a drive together and have this be the last drive of the half, but for it to actually be a possibility, quite impressive, in the longest drive of the game so far. And now Coach Flaherty going to take a timeout here for Groves.
Gonna want to talk this one over. Play of the first half for sure as his Falcons trail 14-7. Right in the air now of his senior signal caller, Marcus Alexander, 6 foot, 180-pound quarterback and terrific student athlete is Marcus Alexander. Really can go to his choice of schools as any college that takes on Marcus Alexander is getting a good one. Really smart kid, as well as a terrific athlete.
Yeah, and he's got football smart as well. He's very aware of his surroundings. When the pocket's been breaking down, he's able to kind of break them down with his feet, and he's wearing that number 15. I've already made a small comparison to Patrick Mahomes, but that last elusive scramble really reminded me of a young Patty, if you'll say. Is that too big of a compliment or too big of a comparison, I guess?
Well, you've made it a couple times. We're going to stick with it. And he's going to fling one into double coverage, in and out of the hands of the defender that time.
Threw it into double coverage there. I'm sure he'd like to have that one. That was DeWald.
Get another look at it here. Protection's good, and this is a risky pass.
I think DeWalt had it in his hands, and it hit the shoulder pad of the receiver and able to jar it loose. And now we're going to have a 4th down and 10 with 45 to go. We'll see what they're going to do. I think they're going for it.
They sure are. They have a very reliable kicker on that sideline and Mo Preuss, but they're going to elect to go for it here on 4th down. 3 wide receivers set, 2 wide receivers to Alexander's left, and we'll get a timeout call this time by the Seaholm defense.
Yeah, we knew that timeout was coming a little bit before it happened here. The perks of the press box. They didn't like the coverage they saw, and they wanted to, they see 2 tight ends out there, and they didn't have the personnel in there on defense to, you know, to cover against that. And on a crucial 4th down at the end of the first half, you want to have that right coverage out there and try to have another great defensive stop like they had on that last 3rd and 10.
Terrific turnout here as you get some of the sights and sounds, the student sections, the flock in the forest, and it's really a nice turnout here on what is turned out to be quite a fall evening in beautiful Birmingham, Michigan. So we mentioned 6 straight victories for Groves in this series, and the last win for the Seaholm Maples was back in 2013, a 28-22 victory when both teams came into that one undefeated.
That was coincidentally the last year that the Maples made the postseason up until just a season ago, when they had the unfortunate matchup of the Groves Falcons in back-to-back weeks. And we saw how that played out to a 35-14 defeat, as you mentioned earlier in tonight's coverage.
Yeah, could potentially see another rematch in the playoffs. Alexander here on 4th down, floats one up to the back of the end zone, and it's a touchdown. The pass hauled in that time by Eli Turner.
That was very close to the line of scrimmage when he let that ball go, but I think he was just a smidge behind it. Very good throw on the run by Alexander. This kid's too cool for school, let me tell you. Look at this here. Is the 22-yard line was the line. I think he releases it right at about the 22.5 to a perfect dropping dimes on him. Oh, baby.
Preuss now in for the extra point. And some movement up front. And now is Groves going to roll the dice and go for 2? They are, I think so. They're going to bring out some different personnel now. So Groves going to huddle now. Half the distance to the goal penalty. So Groves will indeed go for 2. Alexander under center. has two tailbacks behind him.
Got a whistle here.
Offside once again by Seaholm. So a little bit of a chess match now between the two squads.
So the penalty will go half the distance, put the ball on the 1 yard line now, so makes it much more doable. It's a great view of it right here.
Tailbacks
Right
are
across
Donaldson and Coleman. Donaldson, the deep back. That's who takes the handoff. The 2-point conversion is good. And the Falcons now, on the aid of a couple penalties on the point after touchdown attempt, lead it 15-14 with 38 seconds remaining in the first half.
Yeah, this was a really gutsy call to go for it here as we're going to take a look at that. Dime absolutely dropped in there to Turner, and then just a good hole off the left tackle, and that's pretty easy if you ask me on the 2-point conversion. It makes Flaherty's call look like a no-brainer to take that lead, and what a crucial time too. Going into halftime, hey, how about we go for 2 instead of just tying this thing up? We're gonna show you our hand and say, you know what, we think that we have the better hand, and we're just gonna show it to you.
Some really cool looks on that instant replay by our BACB Sports cameras, bringing you all the angles here tonight.
That was a 14-play drive that took 6 minutes, 16 seconds off the clock. That's impressive, the longest drive in number of plays and in time of possession, and it went to the Groves Falcons, not the team that you would think, the Maples, who are known for chewing the clock.
So really it has been punch, counter punch here this evening. Both teams trading big blows.
Where's he kicking this one?
It'll be Strecker deep as it's angled towards that far sideline. It's one of the up men this time, Jackson Vance, who fields it and coasts out of bounds. 34 seconds remaining. Seaholm with one timeout remaining, and
Do you think they might start throwing the ball, or you think they're just going to play it safe with 75 yards to go in front of them?
I think more than likely they'll play the conservative route here. You'll probably see a couple handoffs, maybe just the one. All depends. They're just going to take the knee.
Yep.
They're going to take the knee, and they're going to head into halftime, trailing by 1 point. Groves able to get the 2-point conversion. That's been the difference thus far as the Falcons lead the Maples here on rivalry night under the lights, 15-14, as both teams head into the locker room. Nick, your thoughts on what was really an entertaining first half of play?
Yeah, really just back and forth. If you're going to ask me about it, we saw a couple good defensive stops from each team after each team scored a touchdown on their opening drive, and then we saw the Maples really put together a long drive, an 85-yarder, helped out by a big pass, and then able to crush it in there. And then we see Grove say, we're going to take a play out of the Maples book and just chew the clock in a 6-minute, 16-second drive to not just tie it, but go for 2 and take the lead at halftime.
Hey, Brandon. Hey, guys, we do have Brandon real quick here. Coach, you went for 2, gutsy call. How do you see this first half?
Well, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of good teams, you know, going at each other. And, you know, once you kind of weather the storm on both sides and figure out what guys are doing, you get a little bit better play of football. But, I mean, they're a good football team.
What are you going to tell the guys at halftime?
You know, just keep going. We'll get the ball coming out of second half, so this first drive will be critical for us.
Right.
So that one, this will be, yeah, that'll be big for us.
All right, best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. All right, guys, there he is, Coach Flaherty.
So we'll take a break here on BACB Sports, but when we come back, the start of the second half of play. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, bud.
Oh.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
It's a school night. With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
Not sure about those two. I've been meaning to ask you. This is tougher than I thought. Is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
I hope not, because alcohol can lead you to say things and do things that you really wish you hadn't. Isn't this what you're supposed to say?
I know.
So if any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you.
Ryan.
Yeah?
So start the conversation even before they're teenagers.
Good idea.
For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Welcome back to Seaholm High School here on BACB Sports. Brad Fetters alongside Nick Buckler. Really an entertaining first half of play that sees the visitors, the Groves Falcons, out in front 15-14.
Yeah, it was a really entertaining half, back and forth. We saw a couple defensive stops, and then we saw some really long drives, yardage and time of possession-wise, and really an even time of possession thus far. Just a 2-minute difference in favor of the Seaholm Maples, 12:45 to 10:22 in the TOP category. And really the scoreboard's been pretty even as well. If it wasn't for that gutsy call to go for 2 points, this game would be tied, but it's not. 15-14 the Groves Falcons with the halftime lead.
Yeah, really a first half that was really knotted up and about as close as two teams could play a half of football.
Yeah, it really was, and this is kind of what we expected. Both teams are having really good years. They come in with very similar records, and both coaches, both programs very familiar with one another. I know that we both heard down on the field before the game the Maples sideline was fired up. Their captains were really getting on the team saying, we know who they are, they know who we are, let's go out and play ball, and that's exactly what's happened. We've seen both teams really do exactly what they wanted to do, and we're really seeing a pretty darn good football game.
Yeah, Drew Prokop, the senior, was really one of the guys that was lighting up that sideline for Seaholm in the pregame, trying to get his guys going. And Seaholm right now has to be happy at their first half performance and going to need to see a little bit more here out of the Maples in the second half.
Yeah, they're really going to want to get those big plays working. They had a really good passing play that set up their, well, at the time it was a leading touchdown, their second touchdown of the game, and DeWalt's second touchdown of the game. He's got both for the Maples. As there we see a short kick, fielded at the 20-yard line here by Groves.
It's number 26 for the Falcons. Look out! Griffin. Nope, that's Stavros Panos with the kick return. So special teams plays. We've seen a couple good ones now from both sidelines.
Really kind of, you're not sure what was going to happen there, and he ends up knocking down his own team and just running up the gut, getting a pretty good return out of it. A 16-yard return to be exact, and Groves will open up at the 36-yard line.
Clayton Fox directly to Alexander's right. It's a handoff, a broken play. Donaldson looking to make something out of nothing all the way up to midfield. Just a real patient run that time by the senior running back.
Yeah, really stuffed and then just kind of keeps those legs chugging. And we've seen that so many times here. Right there, you think he's not going to make it through the pile, and he does. With a little stutter step outside and ends up picking up 15 yards.
Really an impressive run there out of the senior running back. Stepping over some tacklers that time and just picked his way through the defense all the way up to midfield. So first down, 10 to go. Marcus Alexander back under center. Bunch set to his left. They set a man in motion. That's number 11, Damon Dunbar, and the handoff, power right up the middle. Colby Taylor, nowhere to go that time.
Yeah, that's what they wanted to do on that last play, but weren't lucky enough to do so. They said, well, better late than never. We'll do it here, and we'll start stuffing them here on defense.
A minimum gain of 1 yard. Brings up a second down, 9 to go from the Maple 49. Damon Dunbar now to the Grove sidelines. Kyle Coleman, the setback for the Falcons. Colby Taylor in the slot, into the flat. A little bit of a bubble screen that time and stuffed, nowhere to go. Chaz Strecker once again involved in the tackle. He has been all over the field tonight for the Maples.
It looked like that he was going to slip out of that tackle and slipped out of one and ended up going backwards after that. End up getting officially 2 yards, but really it could have been something more, and really good way to wrap up by Strecker.
Third down, 6 yards left to pick up, and just throwing it right to the markers. Too easy as Eli Turner turns it upfield, picks up the first down. They'll move the chains. More importantly, keep the drive alive.
Looked like the cornerback there had kind of a delay when the receiver turns to make the catch. It's Miles Mentag out there in coverage. Just kind of late to get there. It should have maybe jumped the route, you would think, but too much room to work, and it's a first down for Groves.
Kyle Coleman and Donaldson. Donaldson, the deep back. He'll take the handoff. And we talked about a patient runner now. Puts on the speed burst. One man to beat. And he will do just that. 37-yard carry and touchdown run for Ralph Donaldson. Big play capability. We talked about it all evening long, and Ralph Donaldson just got the edge and put on the speed burst.
Just your ordinary halfback counter to the right. He gets the line moving, opens up a hole between the tackle and the end, and right through he goes. Huge hole to run, go through, and the rest is history. We see how it ends up, 6 points.
Miles Mentag, the only Maple that could have brought him down, as Preuss misses the extra point. So they get the 2-point conversion on the previous touchdown, and now Preuss, who's Mr. Automatic for the Falcons, misses the extra point. As we'll get another look here at the Donaldson touchdown. Didn't even need to apply the stiff arm. And it's that little shimmy shake. It made the first defender miss, and then it was just cruising on home. And the Falcons, after that missed extra point, lead it 21-14.
Just a good fake there by Donaldson, and that's what created that hole, I think. It was pretty good coverage. The defense was there, but just that elusive move opened it up. The defenders went both directions, and he's able to scamper 37 yards and really only taking 2 minutes, 40 seconds off the clock. It's a quick strike for Groves, and I'm sure they're going to love to have a stop here and see if they can stymie this Maples offense. And they're really going to, Maples offense, that is really going to need to put together a drive here, because this is kind of the same situation you were in last year where you were close, you had the lead, and then in the third quarter and early on in the fourth quarter, we saw that lead just disintegrate. And then we see an onside kick by Groves.
Wow, really rolling the dice there. A nice recovery by number 14, Drew Prokop.
That would have been kind of just what I was talking about from last year. You saw Groves kind of start to run away with it in the second half, and that's really what the Maples are going to try to not have happen if they can put together a really good drive here and try to end up with, any kind of points, but preferably a touchdown.
So short field now for Seaholm. Ball spotted at the Maple 45. We mentioned Seaholm comes into play with that 5-2 record, 4 and white in league play. Identical league record to Birmingham Groves after both teams suffered losses to Oak Park. And a terrific pitch this time. McBride works his way through the defense.
We got an injured Grove Falcon back in the backfield. He's rolling around in agony. There is a penalty flag back there as well. So I don't know if there was some sort of holding penalty or what, but it looks like he is not feeling good at all. And we'll see what the flag is. This could be coming back from the looks of it. It looks like maybe a hold as far as the neighborhood. Yep,
Block in the back.
Oh.
It was one of the
block in
linemen.
the back penalty.
One of the linemen.
Daryl Allen is the Falcon down, as that's Jeff Beckles, our head referee tonight, the entire line. And Daryl Allen back up on his feet, jogging over to the Grove sideline. So good scene there.
Yeah, he looked like he was down in agony, so good to see him jog off under his own power. And it's really a shame for the Maples there. They had a really good-looking play there, and now it's going to get called back on a block in the back by one of those linemen.
So we'll get a look here at the potential injury right there, and it looks like one of his own players may have stepped on the back of his leg.
Yeah, it might have been a step on
some friendly fire that time.
Muscle or possibly a rolled ankle, something. Either way, it probably didn't feel good, and I'm sure the chilly temps don't help anything in the muscle-related categories down there. Wonder how Andy's muscles are feeling down there.
It's cool. Cool-ish, and getting colder by the minute, I can tell you.
I think you're cool. The temperature's cold.
Well, thank you. Thank you for noticing. But yeah, those hard hits are going to be felt a little bit more as this night goes on, guys.
So the Maples really backed up now, able to pick up 4 yards up to the 35-yard line. But the line to gain is the Falcon 45. So you're looking now at a 2nd down and 20 to go.
Yeah, that's nothing.
It hasn't been nothing for either one of these teams, as they've been able to pick up multiple first downs, move the chains. We've seen the big play explosiveness out of the Falcon offense. And you mentioned the Seaholm trying to make it to the playoffs in back-to-back seasons, the first time since they made it 3 years in a row back in 2011 through 2013. 7-3 a season ago, 6-0 in OAA Blue Play. Blue champions earned them that promotion back up to the white. And this is a league game here against the 2 Birmingham schools. Week 8 of the MHSAA season.
It's a battle for 2nd place. As I mentioned earlier, both of these teams have identical 4-1 records in division play. But the edge goes to Groves in overall record. They're 6-1. We mentioned Maples 5-2 coming into tonight.
The Maples still have to pick up one more victory for that 6 that would automatically qualify them for the playoffs. So they're going to have to split here at least, win one of these games against either of the rivals here tonight, Groves, or a game next week against Avondale. That'll be a road game against Auburn Hills Avondale. Avondale 3-4 on the season. They're playing Berkeley tonight. So definitely a winnable game in week 9, but for the Maples, they don't even want to think about that yet. They got a game in front of them that they are right in. They trail 21-14. Falcons out in front. The lone touchdown here this 3rd quarter with 6:45 remaining in the 3rd.
Now we're going to see one of those rugby-style punts here that the Maples have to offer, unless trickery on 4th and 21. Do you dare?
No, I don't think so. That's a little bit too many yards to gain here, and that penalty is there's a high snap and brought down. He had 2 guys back there apparently that can kick the ball away, and it's going to be a short kick that hits, and might have actually hit off of James DeWald down there, but the ball will be spotted at the 41-yard line. So a short kick will give the Falcons terrific field position now, and that drive-killing penalty by the Maples really shot him in the foot that time.
Really did. That was a really good gain on 1st down, and it was all nullified and ending up netting negative 11 yards on that drive. So really disappointing to follow up a really good Groves drive, and they marched down the field with ease. So now this is when the defense has to step up and say, all right, let's keep our boys in it and see if we can get that offense back on the field and still have this only be a 1-touchdown deficit.
Marcus Alexander leads his Falcon offense out onto the field. He's under center here. 2 tailback set, 2 wide receiver set. One at the bottom of the formation, one at the very top. Locks in on a wide receiver. Jumping that route that time. The defender unable to come up with it. And it's another big pass play as they're able to find Eli Turner once again at the very top of the formation. And you can see there Alexander locking in on him and delivered a well-thrown ball as Miles Mentag was unable to come up with any sort of play defensively.
Yeah, they've really kind of exploited Mentag out there on the left side of the field as he's kind of been trying to get away with that arm tackle, and he's really been somewhat shimmied off on almost every play out there on the left side. So that's kind of been the area Alexander's just been targeting Miles Mentag out there.
So Seaholm, did we get a whistle? We've seen some weird plays in this rivalry, including a fumble that was taken 100 yards for a touchdown. But they'll say the forward progression that time out of Ralph Donaldson was stopped, so no fumble. It might have lost a yard, so it'll bring up a second down and 11 situation.
I wanted to see the fate of Coach DeWald's headset there as we saw him rip it off in disgust. And he rips it and nothing, he doesn't run. So
Jacob Vance was,
I think he even knew that the play was over.
The Maple that ripped it out.
Don't you normally run in that situation?
Sida Peretti was the initial would-be tackler as the throw comes out to Clayton Fox. All kinds of flags.
Laundry all over the place. Similar to my bedroom floor.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty.
10-yard walk-off from the spot of the foul will really back up the Falcons now.
Yeah, there was a lot of calls for the hold, and we saw the flags litter the field.
So ball will be spotted at the Maple 49. Line to gain will be the 27. So we'll bring up a second down, 22 to go. 5.5 minutes remaining, third quarter to play. So glad you decided to tune us in here on BACB Sports. Brad Fetters alongside Nick Buckler, Andy Aubrey patrolling the sidelines here tonight. Alexander out of the shotgun. We'll just flip one out, bubble screen. Clayton Fox nowhere to go. He pounds the ball in disgust, flips it over to the side judge. Loss of yards on second down, brings up a 3rd and 4 ever.
Yeah, this is definitely one that you're not going to want to give up if you're the Maples defense here. These are some that can be backbreakers. We've already seen them give up a 3rd and 23 here tonight, and this is, well, almost just that, 3rd and 22. So this is one you absolutely cannot give up. You got to play prevent defense, almost keep your guys at the sticks, and just not let them in front of you and just try to get that ball back.
Seaholm has done a terrific job tonight of defending that screen. Ralph Donaldson, the running back, in the slot to the left of Alexander. Alexander looking that way, will float one in deep, and he's got a man out there in and out of the hands that time of Kyle Coleman.
Wow.
Chaz Strecker, no surprise, he's been all over the field, was in pursuit and coverage there for the Maples.
I think he has him beat too, and I think this is just a drop. Yeah, that's one. I don't know, Strecker might have gotten his left hand in there, but that's one that you know he wants to have back. A very good throw by Alexander. Drops it in, 4th and 22. Got excited. I didn't see the punter standing back there, but there he was.
And they will indeed kick it deep. It's a spiraling kick that will take a little bit of a Groves bounce inside the 20 and a nice roll down to the 15-yard line, where the ball will be down with 4:09 left to go in the third quarter of play.
A couple negative drives for each team there due to penalties and good defense, and that's just what the Maples defense needed to do, get the ball back into the offense and let them go to work, try to put together a good strong drive here and answer the Groves touchdown to open this second half.
This is a Seaholm offense. It's coming off really an impressive performance in their 50-22 win over Troy Athens a week ago. 448 total yards of offense, including 421 on the ground.
That's kind of absurd if you ask me. Just an absolute powerhouse, well-oiled machine, if you will.
DeWald on the QB keeper Picks up positive yardage. Good enough for a first down. Nope, they're going to say just short. Second down, 1 to go from the 29-yard line. And DeWald getting some work now out of that quarterback position. And he's going to take this himself once again around the right-hand side. Picks up a couple, moves the chains. Out to the 26-yard line.
Jerkovich a little slow to get up there for. He's still gimping out there. He's still on the field, number 51 for the Maples. He's in the huddle, but he is lobbying in pain, just limping around, but he's going to stay out there.
DeWald will stay out there in the quarterback position. We talked to him for our Beyond the Box Score program and asked his thoughts about playing for his dad. And he said, you know, at times at the very beginning of my career, it was a little bit more difficult. You know, he says he heard it from the guys having to play, you know, oh, you're playing for your dad. And he says it's quickly become the norm, and really it's no different than playing for any other coach. And he kind of remarked that it's been a cool experience playing for his dad.
Yeah, definitely an experience. I had the privilege of playing for my dad at the hockey level of things, and at first it's definitely, you hear parents saying, oh, you're getting special treatment, but I was a third-line player when my dad was the coach. If anyone was getting yelled at, I think it was me more than anyone else. There was no special treatment going on. And so I kind of didn't like that aspect of things. It was unfair treatment backwards, I think, more so than anything else.
A little harder on you than the rest of the guys.
Exactly.
So Strecker there finally dragged down by Cleek Blunt. Jerkovich did eventually make his way over to this near sideline. They're also working on Jackson Vance. Vance is kind of sprawled on this near sideline as he's getting some attention by the trainer here at Seaholm.
A lot of movement on that line there before the ball was snapped, but no flag. Looks like the right side of the line was a little bit ahead of the game. And there's a good look.
And there is Vance getting worked on by trainer Bill Watson here at Seaholm. It looks like a calf injury or maybe hamstring.
Maybe a cramp due to the chilly temps. Should I go down there? My calves are a little sore.
He's getting a little icy hot work on that right leg.
I don't know if I'd want the icy part tonight.
Another pitch. That play is blown up. Terrific job by Daryl Allen, and he kind of poses after making the tackle. Balanced attack out of Groves offensively, and you just know Seaholm more than likely just going to keep it on the ground for most of the evening, and will do just that here on 3rd and long. And it's DeWald lowering the shoulder, lowering the head, reached out for the football, but he's going to be short.
This might be territory where you might want to consider drawing something up here, whether it be a fake, whether it be a misdirection. I mean, you're in 4th and reasonable here. In a crucial aspect, ball around midfield. If I'm Coach DeWald, I think I put a little action here.
DeWald on his very last play, lowering the shoulder and reaching out. He was well short of the first down markers. They're going to keep the offense on the field.
I like it.
And you wonder if perhaps they'll just try to draw the Falcons offside here first.
I like the call if they do indeed keep them out there. I think you got to take a look above, see what the defense is giving you. If you like it, I think you got to go ahead and run a play, and that's what they're going to do.
And DeWald around the right-hand side. He's going to be short. Big stop by the Falcon defense. They're feeling it now as DeWald comes up a yard short. Needed to get it out to the 47. And he gets just short of that. Coach DeWald pleading with the officials. He doesn't think that's a good spot, and they might have even moved it back a touch more.
Yeah, I think they moved it back even more. Look, he does That's not a person I want yelling at me.
So a big stop by the Falcon defense. As we'll get a couple looks at it now, as DeWall just went around the right-hand side, looked for that edge. Initial contact made by Jack Curran, as the offensive line unable to get that major push that DeWall needed. So Seaholm rolls the dice a little bit there. And it's the Falcons that come out with the 4th down stop. So turnover on downs gives Groves the football. 33 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and a botch snapped. And we got some penalty flags flying out. False start.
Snap
Red ball.
violation.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So Groves kind of avoiding one there. It was some movement along the offensive line, a bad snap. Turner and Fox once again, the 2 wide receivers. Looking for the seam, he's got it. Kyle Coleman off to the races, and he's gonna take it to the house. 51 yards.
Just an absolute rocket on the play action. And we just see him go right up the seam. All day it's been there, and he gets him a little bit behind him, but he's behind both defenders, and that's smooth sailing on the way in. And just a beauty for Groves, and now you need the Maples to really get it going. Now, do you look back at that 4th down and think maybe we should have kicked it? I still like their gutsy call to go for it in that situation, because you can't think, okay, well, what if they throw a 56-yard touchdown and what have you on the next play? I don't second guess that at all.
As Preuss knocks it through. Well, that's the risk you have to take, right? There's risk and reward with going for it on 4th and short, and you are indeed correct. A 56-yarder after the 5-yard penalty on the false start.
And well, that's a one-play drive there for you. That's one way to get going, right up the seam. Just those ones are backbreakers if you're a Maple fan or a player.
You guys got me?
We sure do, Andy.
Well, I came over to the Grove side for a little perspective and to backtrack a moment on that touchdown pass. I don't know how fast it looked from up there, but at ground level, he was moving out like a thoroughbred. He took off and ran away from everybody, as you can tell, but really very impressive down here. But for a little perspective, I got to say, this Grove sideline is a whole lot different than the Seaholm sideline. Seaholm, a little more sedate, more businesslike. The Grove sideline is a party. I don't know where all these people came from, but there's so many folks and kids and students and everything just all around the bench and everything, and it's just interesting to see how these different coaches run their show.
Well, I think it's a Groves program that's been there, done that, and another short kick by Preuss, and it'll be fielded at the 32, and the lumber was absolutely laid by Caleb Coleman.
That's one you almost have to think to call a fair catch for, because you know they're coming. They're trying to get the ball first and foremost, and then you're kind of in a vulnerable state there, just camped waiting under that chip shot kick. You know you're getting lined up if you do make it indeed. And we got, what's this little handshake going on, eh?
We'll get another look at it here, and that's just Caleb Coleman running full blast into the up back, which was Jackson Vance that time for the Maples. So real loose sideline. Andy reports back to us that Groves bench really feeling it now as they have really taken a stranglehold of this lead, as they have outscored Seaholm in this 3rd quarter of play 13-0, and that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. And Nick, why don't we keep it right here? We will not take a break, as the Groves Falcons will take a 28-14 lead into the quarter break. And for Seaholm here now, it's back to the drawing board, needing some instant offense.
Yeah, this is it. You need a big play here. You can't sit around, and I know they like the veer offense. They like to take time off the clock, run the ball off the guard, off the tackle, up the middle with a bunch of different fullback style runners. And it's just kind of something that you need to air it out, and you need to misdirection, play action, and open something up, because we saw that work for them in the second quarter and led to their best drive of the game.
Let's quickly look back at some of the third quarter highlights, as it was all Falcons all the time here in the third quarter. And really, Ralph Donaldson has kind of been the catalyst in the backfield for the Birmingham Groves team, as he's really picked up some big chunk yardages and had that big home run right there.
Yeah, we saw that 37-yard touchdown really look easy and effortless run here, as now we got the fourth quarter coming back, and we see the Maples doing just what they've done all game.
Yep, back to live action now, as it's Chaz Strecker with the carry, and he's able to pick up enough yards for the first down.
Maybe do a couple of those runs and have them think it's happening, and then you just hit them over the top, maybe with a little bit of Groves' own medicine. Hit him up the seam with a streaking tight end, perhaps.
We did see that in the first half. We thought at times Seaholm caught Groves sleeping and were able to take the cover off the defense with some of those home run balls.
See what the secondary gives them. Doesn't look like much. They're going to stack the box, because look at that offense.
Alex Lons, number 81 at the very bottom of your screen, kind of that tight end hybrid wide receiver. He's a big target out there, and instead they're going to go to the more shallow route, looking for Will McBride that time, incomplete.
Really not the best looking throw out there. Looks like I don't know, maybe slipped out of his hands. It dropped in on the hands of the receiver, but kind of an end over end throw. And you mentioned you had Lons going up the seam, just as we mentioned, but quarterback really never looked his way. He knew where he was going before the snap.
Caleb Knorr, the starting quarterback here for Seaholm. We mentioned junior captain, talked to him in the preseason for our Beyond the Box Score program, and he's a guy that has totally bought into this veer option attack. He says Coach DeWald likes it. I like it as well, and he is the
false start.
The architect of it here is a junior signal caller.
False start.
So these pre-snap penalties have really hurt Seaholm.
Still second down.
Yeah, they really have. They had a couple guys moving at the same time, one moving forward. That's a no-no in the rules of football. Football Americano, because I know that, across the pond they call football the game of soccer as we know it here.
Yeah, so does the Seaholm girls soccer coach. He calls it football. That's Manny Rodriguez, yeah. If you want to catch any of that Beyond the Box Score program, as we mentioned, both of these teams are featured in it. Interviews with all the captains and head coaches. You can check us out online, BloomfieldTWP.org or BirminghamAreaCableBoard.org. This game will also air in its entirety online, video on demand, so you can watch it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All of our sporting events are archived online, so if you want to watch the football game from, say, 2016, you can.
Looked like the ball came out at the end of this play, but I think he was already wrestled to the ground.
That action coming right in to your living rooms that time. You want to play football, it's what it's like.
Hopefully the screen didn't break there if you're watching at home on your nice plasma screen TV. Or your tube TV.
Michael Kottmeyer down there on the sidelines working those angles for us. He's in the danger zone.
Good thing he's got quick feet.
Oh, that play is absolutely blown up once again. Daryl Allen has been a difference maker in this ball game. He's got his hand on his hip, and he's having fun here tonight, and just
it's too easy for him.
Has been a difference maker defensively. We'll get another look at it here as
he just blows.
He knocked down two Maples.
And just no, yep, okay.
So Groves picked up that revenge victory over West Bloomfield earlier this season. They lone loss of the year to Oak Park, and they'll finish the regular season next week against a very good Woodhaven team. Woodhaven 7-0 on the season. They're playing Trenton tonight. It's going to be a little bit of a road trip for Groves as they will go down to Woodhaven. Groves, as we mentioned, have already qualified for the playoffs. A school record 7th straight year as Coach Brendan Flaherty has really turned this Birmingham Groves program into a perennial power, not only in Oakland County, but I think we can really start talking about them as a power at the state level. As we mentioned, they've made 2 state semifinals in the last 3 seasons, unfortunately dropping both of those state semifinal appearances, including last season's loss to De La Salle, Warren De La Salle.
Ended up winning it all.
Yep, sure did.
It's always fun on Thanksgiving weekend to get MHSAA state championship games down at Ford Field. Hopefully this year we'll see one of our Birmingham area schools down there fighting for glory.
Play action fake. Alexander wide open wide receiver on the right-hand side.
Still going.
Clayton Fox stays on his feet. A little designed roll out there for Alexander.
I don't know how he gets so wide open here. He's just standing with no one within 15 yards of him.
So the ball will be at the 41-yard line now for this Groves offense. 9:20 left to go, 4th quarter, as the Falcons have really put this game now in cruise control. 14-point lead. The only second half points of this game have been scored by the Falcons, as they have outscored the Maples 13-0 here in the second half.
And like we mentioned earlier, similar to last year when Groves kind of ran away with it, and if they can chip some time off this clock and end up putting up another touchdown, this is pretty much all but over at that point. Going up by 3 touchdowns with little time left is hard, even in a rivalry game and a good team, to come back from anything like that.
Ball at the 45. The line to gain is the Maple 49. 2nd down, 6 to go. Alexander in the shotgun once again. Chest high snap, just flings it out to Clayton Fox.
Good for a first down.
Right at the markers.
They're waving them up.
So just real simple pitch and catch.
Playing a soft coverage. They're really keeping the receivers in front of them, not getting beat deep. But that's really allowed Groves to chip this clock away and gain valuable yardage in this stage of the game.
I really think that is perhaps the Seaholm defense just kind of respecting the big play capabilities of these wideouts for Birmingham Groves.
That's exactly what it is, and we've seen it here. Not so much early on, but once they got beat, that was it. And we're going to see them going picked off.
That's a big interception out there by number 2 for the Seaholm Maples. Miles Mentag out of the safety position, jumped the route, came over, camped under it, and made the interception, and keeps the Maples alive in this ball game. They trail at 28-14 with 8:06 minutes remaining.
Wow, really big play there, and we can see there's a flag. Hold on, pump the brakes.
I got holding on the offense. We're going to decline that.
Yeah, we're going to decline that.
This is going to be holding against the offense. You heard it first by head official Jeff Beckles.
Holding on the offense. That penalty's going to be declined. We got personal foul. Targeting on the offense. It's going to be first down.
So in high school, I believe targeting penalty results in an immediate ejection. He didn't mention that, but I'm pretty sure that's the rule. As we saw, I think the targeting came in late after the play. So it's 15 yards tacked on to the end of the interception return. So we're going to take a gander at this change of possession, see if maybe we can see where this targeting was.
So there's Mentag, and that's probably the targeting call right there.
Yeah.
Just kind of went low.
Helmet first. I don't know if he caught him in the helmet. He might have. He might have been helmet. That's where the flag came
exactly.
in. So
You
that's
got
the
it.
targeting. Good job by our camera personnel.
The pitch goes to Miles Mentag. Mentag with the interception, and takes the very next offensive play. Blunt in on the tackle. Big moment in this game is an understatement for the Maples right now. Caleb Knorr breaks the huddle with his head coach. Now Coach DeWall going to bring him over for some last-second instructions. Brings the signal call into the huddle. Ball at the 34-yard line. 4 down linemen. 4-4 look out of the Groves defense, and there's nowhere to go right now. No shot for Chaz Strecker there.
Andrew Palmer was the one for Groves trying to rip that ball out. It looked like he was going for the ball, going for the arms. But good job by Strecker to keep both hands on that ball.
Third down.
Crucial drive here for the Maples. They need points and preferably to not take too much time off the clock. And then I would guess an onside kick would follow. But who knows?
Third down and 8. Knorr pitches to number 21, Will McBride, looking for the edge. Oh, he hurdles the defender!
That's it. Are you kidding me? He hurdles the defender and snags the first down.
There is a flag on that far side of the field, however.
You got to confer with everybody. Make sure you get this call right. This is a crucial time. They don't want to do what they did on Monday night in the NFL game. They're going to try the best. That was nonetheless a great play by McBride to hurdle the defender to get the extra yardage.
Personal foul, hurdling on the offense.
Oh, and I was going to speculate that that's a safety issue, and the MHSAA does not allow ball carriers to hurdle defenders, and that's what the call is going to be, and that's brutal right there for the Seaholm Maples.
Yeah, that's kind of an unfortunate play, but obviously the rule is in there for safety reasons. Obviously, if you're a Lions fan, you saw T.J. Hawkinson go down with a concussion and a brain injury from a hurdle. So nonetheless, it's really an unfortunate turn for the Maples, and obviously the official is not heard in the stadium. It is only for the broadcast, so the fans don't know why this is happening, and
right.
thus you hear a ton of boos. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. But we are able to know, so I'm sure if they knew, obviously they'd still be disappointed, and they'd probably boo and say, what's going on?
Good observation by you.
But nonetheless, they think personal foul. They think maybe somebody threw a cheap shot or yelled something from the bench. But no, just an unfortunate play as we see a ball deep.
And looking to make that play on the inside. Number 81, Alex Lons, couldn't come up with the reception, and now you got yourself a 4th and forever.
Really big change of pace of this game. But obviously finishing my thoughts on the hurdling penalty is actually made to protect the player who is hurdling, because you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable situation. Like I mentioned, T.J. Hawkinson for the Lions. When you're in the air, you are now at the defender's will. Anything he can do, he could be so much smaller than you, so much less strong than you, but he has you in his arms. So anything he does, you have no control. You're just flailing aimlessly. So
extremely vulnerable.
It's a smart rule by the MHSAA, but unfortunate for the Maples.
And you got to credit Will McBride. He's an athlete, and he made an athletic play to try to keep a play alive, and he had his sights set on the first down markers, and he hurdles the defender, and insult to injury, doesn't get the first down and gets penalized for making that athletic play. So Seaholm punts the ball away with 6:52 now left to go in regulation, and the Maples create that turnover. They come up with the interception and unfortunately could not turn it into points, and now Grove's offense coming back out onto the field. They can really put the final nail in the coffin here.
Yeah, they could do one of two things. They could continue to throw it down on them and take the yards that the defense is giving them, or you could just run, because, you know, obviously they've been doing that so well so far, and Donaldson's been amazing on the ground, and that's exactly who they're going to give it to, and he's going to do just that, pick up close to 10 yards there on first down, and another first down for him.
Still on his feet, and finally it'll be Jackson Vance to come in and clean up the tackle. Now, credit Seaholm. They came in absolutely fired up, grabbed a hold of the early lead, and you thought, well, you know what? We might have ourselves a ball game this evening. Kind of had that punch, counter punch as two heavyweights kind of just stood in the center of the ring and delivered blow after blow, and it was the Falcons that took a 15-14 lead into the halftime break, came up with a 2-point conversion late in the second quarter to take the 1-point lead into the intermission, and have just come out here in the second half of play and have dominated, outscoring the Maples 13-0. And it'll be Donaldson again. Look out. He has some jets on that far side. Tiptoes this sidelines and finally forced out of bounds by Miles Mentag.
He is so fast. He makes it look so easy, and I think that's his big, long strides. Those strides, look at him. They are so long once he gets into open field. Right here, look at that. His strides are over a yard and a half. I think I take 4 steps to go 1 yard. And I mean, I'd love to see that dude's 40 time. It's just effortless running.
Well, he is a track superstar here at Groves, no surprise. 6 foot, 185-pound senior, and he's going to get some big-time offers coming his way. I know some Division II schools are really interested, and he's picking up some MAC offers as well. So he's going to be a guy, Ralph Donaldson, that's going to play at the next level, and that's kind of been the story so far as of late for the Groves Falcons, is guys progressing and making their way to the college ranks. And we have a guy that is on the Lions practice squad right now out of Birmingham Groves.
Yeah, that's Pittman.
Anthony Pittman.
Yeah, just a nice article that you dug up earlier today from the Free Press.
Yeah, did a terrific piece. Mr. Pittman made his way to Wayne State University, played for the Warriors, and now has latched on with the Detroit Lions, part of their practice squad there.
Yeah, so congrats to him and to the program for producing a pro talent, if you will.
Pittman remarking in the Free Press article that he grew up watching the Lions, rooted for the Lions, including guys like Matthew Stafford. Stafford's been in the league long enough now that rookies have said they grew up watching him play. I thought that was kind of a funny part of the article.
So Pittman is used to heartbreak, apparently, as a Lions fan, as am I, as are you, as are most of us. You are, correct?
Yeah, grew up in Metro Detroit. I think you're kind of forced into Lions fandom.
It's an unfortunate lifestyle that I don't know if we choose, but we nonetheless are.
Well, the Chicago Cubs can break the curse. Why can't the Lions?
Well, it only took them, what, 110 years to do so? We got several more. 1957 was our cursed year.
You know, it hasn't all been bad, guys. I was at that playoff win in '91.
The lone playoff victory, a home victory for the Detroit Lions.
I wasn't even on planet Earth the last time we won a playoff game.
I was 5.
I was -2, 1. I don't know. Math
I won't say how old I was, but I was at the game, and I'll tell you what, it was the golden age of Detroit Lion football. And who would have thought Wayne Fonts, the greatest coach in our history of the last, 40, 50 years, I guess. But they had Barry, they had Spielman, they had some great talent back then, and little did I know that day that would be the last playoff win, and we'd still be talking about it in 2019.
What was that, Dallas, right?
The Dallas Cowboys, they came in and got smoked by Detroit. It was great.
What, was it Mitchell the quarterback back then?
No, that was before Mitchell.
Herman Moore, Brett Perriman,
that would have been
defense with Jerry Ball, and I mean, it was fun times. Willie Clay and I think Ray Crockett was in the defensive backfield back then, and it was they had it going on there for a few years in a row. They made the playoffs a bunch. That was the only victory, of course, but you just sort of feel like that. You know, they could have kept that going and got some more victories, which of course did not happen. And then we've gone through how many coaches since Wayne? I can't count that high.
It's been a lot. I know you've had Morningwig, Marinelli, Mariucci. There's been a bunch.
Yeah, Morningwig, all the M's.
So a heavy dose of straight dives have not only kept the clock running, but have moved the chains. I think that was Rodney Pete, probably. That was the starting quarterback for the Lions back in '91.
Actually, I'm going to look it up here. Eric Kramer was the
Eric
quarterback
Kramer,
in
okay.
91. So I was wrong.
Yep, Mitchell came in a couple years later as that highly touted free agent out of the Miami Dolphins.
The Southpaw.
Yeah.
He was on The Biggest Loser.
Was
He was. Celebrity Edition. I don't even know if it was Celebrity Edition.
That's pretty fitting for a Lions quarterback to be on Biggest
I
Loser.
didn't even think of that. But yeah, no, he did lose a lot of weight because he gained a lot of weight.
Third down and 1 there.
Yeah, you have to gain a lot of weight to lose a lot of weight. That's true.
Who would have thought an NFL quarterback has to go on Biggest Loser? Those guys are in prime shape. Flag down on the play.
And we're going to have a timeout before the flag. Timeout called by Groves with the 28-14 lead. And they're driving. They're in the red zone once again as they look to put the finishing touches on what will be a 7th straight win for Groves in this rivalry series. And Nick, if you want to talk about win streaks, got to go back to 1989, so talking about late 80s, early 90s with that Lions team. The longest win streak for either team in this series was 11 straight games. That belongs to the Seaholm Maples from 1989 to 1998. They won 11 straight over the Groves Falcons. And that included a playoff game as these two teams kind of becoming accustomed to playing one another in the playoffs. We'll see if another potential playoff meeting is in the cards for these two teams once again, as you kind of got to think maybe that district might also feature a couple teams from Farmington as well.
Yeah, the Farmington teams are pretty good this year as well, so it's going to be a tough bracket either way, depending on how the cards shake themselves out here with the result of this game, pending the outcome. But it's looking like Groves is going to hold on here and improve to 7-1 on the year, and Maples will drop to 5-3. So all important games coming up next week for both teams. More for Groves to determine seeding, and from the Maples just to get in. Obviously, you can still get in at 5-4, but they don't want to have to risk that. It's slim pickings, especially out in the OAA, with the amount of teams who have that strength of schedule and have all the tiebreakers at 5-4. You just want to take care of business, get the 6 wins, and find yourself in the postseason.
Yeah, reminder, they're going to take on Auburn Hills Avondale next week. That's an Avondale team that's currently 3-4, playing out of the OAA Blue. They're taking on Berkeley tonight. So a very winnable game here for the Maples, but they're going to have to shake this loss off here tonight and get back to the drawing boards, as there's now just a minute left in regulation.
They really did some good things, though. Obviously, they had that early kickoff return that started a really good drive. They took a lot of time off the clock and were able to punch it in. They had a really good couple passes, and then obviously they hurt themselves with some penalties as well on some big plays. So going to want to clean some things up, but nonetheless, really don't want to hang your head too much. Obviously, you don't like to lose 7 in a row to your rival and on home field. But, you know, you still have the season in front of you. You can still take care of your own business next week, as Groves is going to punch this one in just to put salt in the wound with 25 seconds to go. But really still a lot to build on for the Maples.
It'll be Colby Taylor that takes the handoff into the end zone for the exclamation point. Taylor, the senior running back, and what will more than likely be his last rivalry game, unless they do meet up in the playoffs, as he comes together there with a couple Maples pinballing off of them and able to find pay dirt with 25 clicks left up on the big board. The extra point is good. 21-point lead now for the Falcons, 35-14 with 25 seconds to go, as we'll get another look here at the Taylor Scampers. He looks back, and why not? It has been all Falcons here in the second half of play, scoring the lone 20 points of the half. It's been 28 unanswered, right?
Yeah, it was 14-7, so 28 unanswered points. Look at that mathematics. Cheerleaders look a little chilly out there. See your breath. Fans are starting to fold up their blankets and putting the layers on as they make the trek back to their car. On our side of the field here, look a little disappointed as the press box is high atop the Maple sideline.
Yep, we got the best seats in the house high atop Maple Field here in beautiful Birmingham, Michigan, right about the 50-yard line. And able to bring you the sights and sounds here tonight in this rivalry clash. Once again, the 61st time these two teams have hooked up, and Seaholm will maintain that edge. It'll get a little bit closer now as Maples will lead it now 40 wins to 21 losses as Groves picks up their 21st victory in the rivalry series.
And Seaholm really owned the 80s and 90s,
Yeah,
and
they
that's
sure
really
did.
what makes that coming into today 40 wins to just 20 losses. Now it'll be 40 wins to 21 losses in favor of the Maples. So obviously the last several years, 6 to be exact, and 7 meetings have gone the way of Groves. But talking about the press box, I would say it's comfy temperature-wise, but we do have a window open, which is allowing the climate to take over, and
Some
it's a little
Seaholm
chilly.
Some Seaholm staff directly to our right has vacated the press box.
Who do you got for BACB Sports Player of the Game? I
Well.
think you got to go with Alexander.
You think Marcus Alexander, the quarterback?
Donaldson. I don't know. They both. Alexander threw 3 touchdowns. Donaldson's had a heck of a game on the ground as well. So, a couple choices for us to go after.
You know what? I think we'll take a vote. We'll get the live truck involved as well, so you'll want to stick around for our post-game coverage to see who, in fact, will be our player of the game. Got Andy Aubrey down at field level to conduct that player of the game interview, so that'll be our post-game coverage immediately following this game as there's under 10 seconds remaining, and Seaholm trying to get Jerkovich off the field as he's been hobbled all game long, and they will not be able to get him off in time. They will not get a final play off, and that will do it for the 7th straight time. The Groves Falcons win it over their rivals from Birmingham. Seaholm, your final score here tonight in Week 8 of the MHSAA season. It's the Birmingham Groves Falcons 35, the Seaholm Maples 14, as Damon Dunbar puts on his very best dance moves. And Nick, your thoughts here tonight?
Fun fact for you, the last 2 times these two teams now have clashed, the score has been identical.
How about that?
35 to 14 here tonight. And then in the first round of the postseason last year, 35-14 for Groves. So really a good game both ways to start. Groves end up running away in the second half.
So we'll take a break here on BACB Sports, but when we come back, our post-game coverage, including that highly anticipated player of the game interview. You do not want to miss it. Come right back.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps. Did Pete saying mean things bother ya?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Welcome back one final time to Birmingham Seaholm High School. Brad Fetters alongside BACB Sports Analyst Nick Buckler as we come to you with the final score of the Groves Falcons 35, the Seaholm Maples 14. And Nick, really it was a dominating second half performance offensively for the Groves Falcons as they eventually outscored the Seaholm Maples 20-0.
Yeah, it was the tale of 2 halves, really similar to the game we saw last year where Seaholm came out gunning. They had a great kickoff return. They drove down the field and really put together a good drive, and really 2 of their first 3 drives were really good. They led 14-7 and then were outscored 28-0 after that point. And really the second half was all Groves, and they did exactly what they wanted to do, and they were led by their senior quarterback.
Yeah, Groves Falcons improved to 7-1. Marcus Alexander is that senior quarterback. He threw for 3 touchdowns here tonight. He's alongside our very own Andy Aubrey.
All right, guys, here we are with our player of the game, BACB Sports Player of the Game, Marcus Alexander. 3 touchdown passes, Marcus. Nice game for you. Besides the obvious, the great touchdown passes, what did you see in the Seaholm defense that allowed you to exploit them, especially in the second half?
Yeah, they were playing a lot of off coverage, so just get our receivers the ball quickly and let them make plays, keep chunking drives out. Our O-line did a great job protecting, so the deeper routes they were there, I had time to throw it, and it's all-around great team win. Started in practice, schemed it up good, and we just executed well.
Yeah, I'll say. Now, I was able to be on both sidelines, the Seaholm sideline and then yours. Your guys' sideline is crazy, man. I mean, it's it's just active. There were parents down there. There were band members. There were students. Talk a little bit about what it's like playing for Coach Flaherty and the coaching staff here.
Yeah, it's awesome, and obviously our fan base, everybody's really into it. And saying we have is every game we try to win the sideline. So obviously you win the game, we win the warm-up, win the sideline, and that's one of our biggest things. We're more enthusiastic, everybody's in the game, and I think it translates onto the field.
All right. Now, you're getting photobombed back there by the teammates, but that is sort of one of the hallmarks of Groves teams that we've seen over the years is that Coach Flaherty has been able to create a camaraderie and almost like a family-like atmosphere, which we witnessed with that circle at the end of the game. You guys are all brothers, it seems like, and that really can only help you to win ball games, right?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody on the team's super close. They're like family to me, my second family, and we do anything for each other. We've been playing together 4 years, some guys 3 years, but everybody's bought in. Everybody's doing their best, and it all just when we put it together, everything works out.
Right. Okay. Now you're in the playoffs. The main goal has got to be to win the states at this point, right? How are you guys set up for that?
Obviously our goal is to win states, but we still got to take it week by week, prepare for the team ahead of us. If we just take care of that and just do that job, we'll be there and we'll be ready for it.
Okay. Well, we'll be watching. Bring that thing back to Birmingham because you guys have gotten close, but this could be the year. So good luck. Congratulations on a great win tonight.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to wrap it up from down here at field level. Groves Falcons takes it to their crosstown rivals in the away barn of the field at Seaholm and send it back up to Brad and Nick.
Thank you so much, Andy. And our player of the game, Marcus Alexander, he's stressed that they are a family and this is a unit that's really strong, and there's really no stronger player than Marcus Alexander, a member of the Birmingham Patriots, has been a part of football here in Birmingham since the age of 8, and really under the guidance of Brendan Flaherty. This is a Grove squad really that can make a lot of noise come playoff time.
Yeah, and they're led by their leader. I mean, obviously led by a leader, and it's Marcus Alexander. He seems like a passionate player. He leads those guys by example. Very serious, as you could see in that post-game press conference / interview, if you will. That's the press, so that's exactly what it was. And he mentioned early on in the first question that he recognized the defense and what they gave him, and he took it. He wasn't trying to force anything, and that's the sign of a good leader and a good player.
So back to the drawing boards now for the Seaholm Maples as they will look to make the playoffs. They're going to have to beat Auburn Hills Avondale next week. I think they can take quite a few positives from their performance here tonight.
Yeah, they definitely got off to a good start. Obviously, it was a game of 2 halves, but they did still some good things in the second half. They had a takeaway. They had that interception off of Alexander, and that could have turned the game around, really, if it wasn't for the unfortunate hurdling penalty. And that was a great heads-up play by McBride to do that. It's the only way he was going to elude the defender. Unfortunate result, but we understand the rule. It's for player safety. But really, very good all-around game to start. Just a little things to tighten up maybe in the defense and really just go back to do your thing in the offense, and good things will come.
For the Maples, we wish them good luck next week against Auburn Hills Avondale. For the Groves Falcons, good luck on what should be another long playoff push, and hopefully that next step as they make their way to Ford Field perhaps on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, 2 of the last 3 years, they were 1 win away. How about give some thanks this year from under the roof of Ford Field? Maybe we can sneak in there, and maybe we'll be there as well.
Yeah, push them past that finish line this year, huh? That was a pleasure working with you, Nick, all fall season long. This is our wrap-up coverage for the fall season, so we'll say goodbye here from Birmingham Seaholm. Once again, the final score of the Seaholm Maples fall to the Groves Falcons. Final score 35-14 for our talented BACB Sports crew, including our director, Steve Rhoda, my broadcast partner, Nick Buckler. We'll say goodbye one final time, and we'll see you in the winter right here on BACB Sports.